Stocks rallying today as the White House signals progress on a trade deal with China, bringing some reassurance to Wall Street as it heads further into its worst April since the Great Depression. Investors optimistic after President Trump said his 145% tariffs on China will come down substantially. Here's what he said at the White House this morning.
We are going to have a fair deal with China. It's going to be fair.
Are you talking to them actively now?
Actively. Everything's active. Everybody wants to be a part of what we're doing. They know that they can't get away with it any longer, but they're still going to do fine. And we're going to have a country that you can be proud of, not a laughing stock all over the world for many years.
Trump still not giving any details on when or how much the tariffs could decrease or exactly who is taking part in these active negotiations, as he called them. But meanwhile, the president now also backing off his threats to fire Fed Chair Jerome Powell. It is quite a change in tone after calling him a major loser for not already lowering interest rates. Let's bring in ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers along with business correspondent Alexis Christoforous. Ladies, thank you both for being here. Karen, what do we know about this possible deal with China and the active negotiations that Trump just mentioned?
You know, Janae, it still seems like it's a really long ways off because there are no direct conversations right now between the administration and China. The president would not say yesterday whether he has had any direct contact with China's President Xi and what those conversations could look like. The administration did say yesterday, though, that they feel that the ball is moving in the right direction and that they are setting the stage for a trade deal with China. But that's important, setting the stage, and they wouldn't even say what the stage is looking like at this point or why they have reasons for optimism right now. The president did say yesterday, as you pointed out, that when he does bring down the tariffs from the current 145%, he will lower them substantially, but they're not going to come down to zero. The White House still continues to be imploring China to reach out to them, to come to the table and try to come to an agreement that would give off-ramps here for this major trade standoff between the two countries. But Janae, right now, China is still playing hardball and showing no signs of backing down and still accusing this administration of economic bullying.
And Karen, a really important distinction you made there between active and direct negotiations. Alexis, this, though, looks to be good news for investors. The stock market reacting favorably.
That it is, and I think it's safe to say this market is breathing a sigh of relief, and that's because the Trump administration has directly dealt with two of the market's biggest concerns, the China trade war and the possible firing of Fed Chair Jerome Powell. President Trump dialed both of those things back today, and you're seeing this, we'll call it a relief rally on Wall Street right now. We're not as high as we were earlier this morning, so some of this rally is fading as we head into the close, but there's still optimism among investors. Stocks are rallying, with tech stocks, which we know have been beaten up really badly over the past few months, leading the advance today. We've also got gold, which we know has been a safe haven investment, falling back a little bit. And the dollar, which has been taking such a beating, is actually higher today as well.
And I'm glad that you mentioned Jerome Powell there, Alexis. Karen, Trump now says that he has no intention of firing Jerome Powell, the Fed chair that he appointed. What could have changed his mind?
You know, he clearly was looking at what was happening in the markets earlier this week. He had referred to Powell as a major loser. The markets did not like that. They want to see more certainty. Now, the president, of course, has been putting pressure on Jerome Powell for weeks. He wants to see him lower interest rates. The Fed chair is independent. He doesn't take his orders from the president like a cabinet secretary would. So the president saying yesterday that he has no intention of firing Jerome Powell was certainly some relief to Wall Street. But the president also continued to say, though, Janae, that he wants to see Powell take more active measures now in terms of lowering interest rates. So while the maybe pressure campaign for him pushing him out might be going away, he's certainly going to keep up the pressure for Powell to the policies that he wants to see him put in place.
Yeah, but dialing down that rhetoric has certainly had an impact on investors. Karen Travers, thank you for joining us.